What's up, guys? This is Ian, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys week 2 of League of Extraordinary Trainers. The Ladner Lanturns are taking on the Seattle Staraptors and Coach Corona 12. So, sorry about this. TJ did tell me that the flashcard at the beginning has week 1 instead of week 2. We'll just move on a little bit here to the team preview. So if you haven't seen my team builder, I did go in depth about what I'm bringing, what I think he's bringing, all that good stuff, his priority and all that jazz, what I'm speed creeping, all that stuff. So just a quick rundown here. We're bringing Scarf Rotom Heat with just enough speed, plus the Scarf to outspeed Mega Latias, because I wasn't going to outspeed the rest of his Scarfers anyways. We are hoping we do have Thunder Wave on there to hopefully paralyze something that's really fast, and we have Trick on there to hopefully cripple Clefable or Umbreon. I'm running physically offensive Life Orb Mamoswine with Rocks this week. Pretty much the same Magearna set we ran last week with Shift Gear Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Icy MZ, and I can't remember. Oh, the last move was Hidden Power Rock to take on Volcarona. Running physically offensive Mega Latios with Dragon Dance for setup. Running Choice Specs Selgor with Final Gambit. And we're running physically offensive Spoopy Plate Mimikyu. So just touching on his team, he has Clefable, Latios, Staraptor, Volcarona, Cloyster, Toxicroak, Umbreon, Rhyperior, Lanturn, Mega Latias, and Xatu. Initially, I'd thought Rhyperior, Lanturn, Toxicroak, and Xatu, none of them were coming. I thought that Umbreon could be a maybe and regular Latios could be a maybe. It makes sense to me looking at his team now that he didn't bring regular Latios because it's the exact same speed tier as Mega Latias and he wanted Staraptors as Scarfer. So in team preview I see this and I immediately think that he's bringing Scarf Staraptor. I'm thinking it's Screen Xatu because he brought that last week with like U-turn. I have no idea what to expect from Mega Latias. It could be Calm Mind setup. Volcarona's pretty much run the same set every single week, regardless of who you're playing. It's Quiver Dance with fire coverage, bug coverage, and insert move here. Cloyster's probably Shell Smash, Hydro Pump, because I saw that last week. I noted that he was Shell Smash with Icicle Spear and Hydro Pump. I can't remember what his last move was. And I'm expecting Clefable to be like a Calm Mind setup, unaware sort of mon for because I have a lot of setup potentially on my team in Rhydon, Mimikyu, Licky, Mega Latios, Magearna, and Manaphy. Yeah, so another thing to note, just out of team preview, is that the only he has 3 Z Crystal users based on his point usage, and I have 2. Mine are Magearna and Licky, and his are Rhyperior, Lanturn, and Xatu. So not seeing Rhyperior and Lanturn, I know for sure that Xatu is the only thing that could be holding a Z Crystal here. So let's just talk about leads real quick before I start it. But I'm running with Scarf Rotom Heat with Volt Switch, and I see no ground type on his team. There's literally no downside for me to just lead Rotom Heat and get a big Volt Switch off on something, and so that's what I'm about to do. I think he's probably going to lead with Staraptor to U-turn, Xatu to U-turn. I don't know what people do with like Cloyster leads, but potentially Cloyster to set up or something like that. Challenged by Corona here, and he's going to send out Racist Bird, which is his Xatu. So I see this, and I'm calcing. I know Volt Switch is a free 90% on this thing. It's going to destroy it, and that's if it's got some special bulk on there. So I'm noting that it would be a really good thing to get this thing out of the way early, so that I don't have to deal with screens later and all that jazz. So I do just click the Volt Switch here. And I'm going to go out into my Magearna because I can clean this thing up, get a Soul Heart boost, and maybe just win the game right there. But he is going to go for the Z move, and I was like, oh god, is this like Z Psychic? What have I done to myself? Magearna resists it, right? And it was Z Light Screen. So I'm not really scared of that. It was unfortunately on Corona's part a wasted Z move because he's at 10% now, so he's not going to benefit from the plus special defense that he would have got from the Z light screen on top of having light screen up as well. But I do see this and I'm like, okay, he's at 10% HP, I'm not faster, so I know he's going to U-turn or switch out on me for sure, and a Selgor is my best bet to deal with whatever he has that's coming in. So he is, I do double do a Selgor here, and he is going to baton pass. So see the baton pass and not the U-turn, and he's going to go into his Crown Bug or his Volcarona. And at this point, I'm like, all right. A Selgor puts in work on his team, but Volcarona is a huge threat, and I'm not letting that thing set up for free. I have no move on my Selgor that will one-shot this thing, and he could one-shot me with a Fiery Dance. I said this in my team builder, and this was part of my prep. If I'm in on a Selgor for free on Volcarona, I will Final Gambit that thing. I have HP investment. I know my Final Gambit is going to kill it unless he's running a max HP Volcarona, which I highly doubt, because then he's sacrificing the speed that he needs to outspeed things like Manaphy, or to speed tie with things like max speed Manaphy, and potentially even like Scarf Me and Shao after a Quiver Dance. So I'm going to click the Final Gambit here, and this is pretty much the game of Final Gambits, but this is the first one. So click Final Gambit here, and unfortunately for me, this does drop my Selgor and drops his Volcarona. So it's great for me that I get Volcarona out of the way, but kind of unfortunate for me that a Selgor's out of the way, because the Selgor was carrying Choice Spec Sludge Bomb, which is kind of my only way to deal with Fable at this point in the match. I know the Flash Cannon's not going to do a great deal too. Well, if he's at neutral, Flash Cannon's doing about 60 to 71 from Magearna. But he's probably got some recovery on there, and if you get some Calm Minds up, that could be a real problem. So we've got the double down here, and again, he's got no ground types on his team, so I'm just going to go back into Rotom Heat. It's my best play, because I can just Volt Switch out on whatever, and I know Cloyster. So keep in mind here, we're still behind a light screen. Cloyster has such bad special defense that I was running Energy Bowl on a minus special attacking nature Mega Latias this week to take care of this thing. I seem to have had a problem identifying which Mons are going to run Focus Sash the week that I played this battle, but I do want to shout out my good buddy Noah for, he was in a call with me while I was battling, and he identified this could be White Herb or Focus Sash, and I was like, wow, I was like, White Herb for sure, I didn't even realize he could be Focus Sash, because I'm just ignorant some weeks, but I do go for the Volt Switch here, and we'll see how well this Cloyster takes it. Not well at all, and he does hang on with his Focus Sash. So I'm going to go out into Magearna here, again, because I know Magearna can take any one of these hits, even when he's Shell Smashed. I have some special defense investment, so I know I can take at least the Hydro Pump, and Magearna's naturally would just resist the Ice-type stab that could be coming my way. So he does get the Shell Smash off here, and I'm like, alright, well, I can't take 2 Hydro Pumps is the thing, because I'm suspicious that he's got Hydro Pump on this thing since he brought it last week. I'm like, I can't take 2, so I can't afford to shut up this, to set up the shift gear at this point, which would then allow me to outspeed his entire team. But I am just going to click the Flash Cannon to just claim my kill here, and he unfortunately shows the Hydro Pump and misses it, so that's really unfortunate. It's just like the Tail Slut misses last week, but Hydro Pump is obviously a lot less accurate, so that's really unfortunate. We do get to +1 here, and his light screen finally wears off, and now he goes into Staraptor. So I do see the Intimidate, so I know he's not Choice Scarf Reckless. I should have probably picked up on something fishy when I saw the Intimidate instead of Reckless there. So I was calcing, and the first set that came up on Showdown was a Choice Banded Oras Staraptor carrying Final Gambit, and I don't know what was going through my head right here. I knew Rotom Heat was my dedicated switch into this thing because I had because I resisted Brave Bird and I have defensive investment. But in my mind I was thinking, well, the best move he can go against me is close combat on my Magearna. And Rotom Heat will take that fine anyways. My Rotom Heat's still sitting at full HP. So I go into Rotom Heat here thinking that he'll close combat when I have a Mimikyu on my team. Like, I have a Ghost type sitting right there, and he goes for Final Gambit. So, like, again, this is the game of Final Gambits, right? I lose my Rotom Heat for free. Rotom Heat put pressure on everything. It had the ability to trick his Clefable, a Choice Scarf. Like, I don't know what I was thinking there, but it was not proper. I should have gone into this is probably the only misplay I made the entire game. And I really should have just gone into Mimikyu on what I suspected to be the close combat, because I'm taking that, and then if he did go for the Final Gambit, or happened to go for the Final Gambit, then he's just killing himself, and he's not touching my Mimikyu, and Mimikyu threatens everything else on his team. Because we know Volcarona's dead, Cloyster's dead, Staraptor gets threatened out by a play rough from Mimikyu, and if he's locked himself into a fighting move, then he has to switch out anyways. Clefable gets threatened out by Shadow Claw because it can crit it to death. Xatu's at like 10% HP, so it'll die to a Shadow Snake. And Mega Latias is not taking a Shadow Claw or a play rough. So we do double down again, so I'm really sad about the Rotom Heat going down, but we double down again. He's going to go into Mega Latias, and I'm going to go into Mamoswine, because Mamoswine can deal with anything else that's coming in, and it's going to threaten everything as well. So here, he's going to Mega Evolve and show off his set, and I'm going to click Ice Shard to see what sort of investment he has on this Latias, see where we're going with this. So we'll look at the Ice Shard damage here, and that does about 30 to 35%. Based on the calcs, I'm like max attack. I'm pretty sure I'm adamant. Max attack adamant Ice Shard from Mamoswine should be doing like 50 to 60 if he's running specially offensive. So I know that he's running max HP, max defense. I know he cannot outspeed my Mega Latios because he's running no speed investment. So we'll see what he goes for here, and he does. Oh, I lose Life Orb, and he chose me the Reflect. So I know he's got screens on Xatu and Mega Latias now. That's pretty threatening, especially for Mamoswine being in here. So I know that I can't really do anything to the Mega Latias, but I know he can't touch me back. Based on his investment, he's not going to be able to like do any damage to me at all. So I can predict him doubling into something else here, and I'm just going to set up the rocks in his face right here as he doubles out into Clefable, which is a big problem for my team. So once I have the rocks up, I know through Reflect I'm not touching this Clefable with my Mamoswine here. So I'm going to switch out into... Oh gosh, what do I switch out into? I switch out into Magearna. I double out into Magearna here. It's my best switch into this thing. It's the only thing I have to hit super effectively. So I'm going to go into Magearna here, and he gets up a free Calm Mind. So that's really unfortunate, because now we're doing a lot less damage to him with Flash Cannon. And he's starting to build up to the point where his Fire Blast is going to kill us. This is sort of a sequence of events here where I just go for... he gets up the second Calm Mind here, and that's all the Calm Minds he's going to end up getting. But it's a sequence of events here where I keep going for Flash Cannon, trying to get him as low as I possibly can, and he's just going to keep Moonlighting to get up to as high of HP as he can for my... To be able to kill my Magearna and then live a hit from the next thing coming in. So it's just sort of a sequence of events here. I'm still really... At this point, I'm really sad that my Rotom Heat is dead, because if I could have just like tricked a Choice Scarf onto this thing right away and lock him into like Moonlight or something, then all of a sudden his Clefable is entirely useless. It has no use except for being like a Choice Scarf Moonblast user, and that's pretty much what he'd have to lock. He'd have to like switch out and lock himself into Moonblast or something instead of trying to Calm Mind and set up on me. And he also wouldn't have his passive recovery in Leftovers, so that would also be nice too. That was tech that I brought specifically for Clefable and Umbreon. So now he's at the highest HP that he could possibly be at. So I'm going to Flash Cannon. He was above 50, and now he's just going to kill me. He opts to kill me at this point with Fire Blast. I'm kind of at a loss here. I don't really know what to do. I have physical Mega Latios, physical Mamoswine, and physical Mimikyu in the back, and it looks to me like he's max HP, max defense, unaware, so I can't set up on him because it's not going to do anything. And he kills Mega Latios with a Moonblast at this point. He'll kill Mamoswine with a Moonblast at this point. So my only bet is to go into Mimikyu and hope that he misplays by not Moonlighting this turn and tries to break my disguise. So I'm going to go into Sean or Mimikyu here. Hope for a Shadow Claw crit, or hope that he screws up and doesn't go for the Moonlight. And our prayers have been answered. He goes for the Moonblast to break my disguise. He would have had to do it at some point. I just expected another Stalwart where he keeps going for Moonlight until he breaks my disguise. But now I threaten out his Clefable with Mimikyu. I threaten out his Mega Latias with Mimikyu, and Xatu dies on entry to the Stealth Rocks. So this is pretty much game here. Mimikyu just cleans up with Shadow Claws here. Because this Mega Latias has no special attack investment, he's not going to be able to kill me with a Shadow Ball. And Mimikyu's just going to clean up Mega Latias and Clefable, and then Mamoswine's going to grab itself a passive kill with Stealth Rocks on Xatu. So that's GG against Corona. exciting times on both parts here. I really loved how we both carried Final Gambit for a big threat on the enemy team. I'll just put this down here. It was kind of cool that we both had Final Gambit users this week. I think that was a really neat tech. I have to admit, I was not expecting Xatu. I had Xatu marked in red. I thought that for sure Xatu was not coming because Corona has a very big ice weakness on his team. In Mega Latios, Staraptor, Rhyperior, Mega Latias, and Xatu, that's 5 things weak to ice, and he only has Volcarona, Cloyster, and Lanturn that resist it, which aren't... Volcarona's not a resist in my mind. Cloyster's not a special resist by any means. Lanturn could have possibly been a nice resist, but I thought that he would be a lot more threatened by Mamoswine than he was. So props to Corona. I don't know if the Z light screen was the best idea. I think maybe like Rocky Helmet, Xatu or something would have been better. Maybe make it like a defensive wall. I mean, then it dies to Rotom Peoples, which so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, GG's to Corona. We do pick up the win 3-0, so now we're 2-0 plus 6 in our division right now. I think we're second behind Wower, who is the same record as us but has a better differential than us because he 5-0'd Mudstill week 1, and we've won both of our matches 3-0. Next week we take on... Oh gosh, I've prepped for this. We take on Crispy and the Chicago Shandies. Crispy took over for Jamesy and the Crystal Palkias permanently. So Crispy's a new coach to the league, and we're going to try our best against him. He's got some big threats in like Victini and Mega Diancie. He's got the purple team. If I'm looking at all the GIFs of all of his mons, the majority of them are purple. So yeah, that's what's happening. And yeah, so we're playing Crispy, and I'll see you guys for week 3 of LET against Crispy and the Chicago Shandies.